We present today about Amazon and how to turn Amazon from your enemy into your friend. And thanks for your commitment for the next 50 minutes. And I would like to introduce our team that worked on that presentation first. Unfortunately, you don't see Dorothee here. She can't join us today, unfortunately. So Miro and me are taking over and going to present this to you. And also feel free to come afterwards to us and to ask any questions. Or we're also going to present our emails later on again. So you can also just send us an email, or you also can just connect with us on LinkedIn. So first of all, we would like to start with the agenda and to give you a short overview of what we want to talk about today. So first of all, we are talking about a strategy and the possibilities you have with Amazon. And we go into the technical setup, into the organizational setup, and also we are talking about operations. So really how to scale on Amazon and to do it if you already decided to go on Amazon. And in the end, we are also going to talk about the do's and don'ts, and you also get a chance again to ask your questions, but also feel free to just interfere and just ask questions if they come up in your mind whenever we are presenting. So maybe we just take a few seconds to let everybody in. All right. All right. So also for the newbies, here the agenda, and we would like to start to talk about the question: okay, how important is Amazon really, and can you manage your own revenue goals you have in your e-commerce, for example, on your own, or do you need to play these platforms? And if you know Project A, we normally talk about like direct customer access, but also platforms can offer you like awareness and so on, and we want to talk about this. So, first of all, if it comes to strategy, we have to take a look, especially here for Germany, how important Amazon is in the e-commerce world. And like everybody of you will know is that they are really huge. Like they have like 8 billion in revenue in Germany in the last year. And if you take a look at Otto, who's the second player in the market in Germany, they are far behind that. And also Zalando is even worse. And if you combine all the other players, like we now show like the 14 of the top 100, even if you combine them, it's really hard to reach for them Amazon's revenue. So that was first. Second, we are talking about how important is Amazon in the world of your customers. And if you see that survey that is from 2015, because there's no recent survey for that, it was the year when Amazon introduced Amazon Prime Video, for example. You already had like 12% of the participants who said, I'm using an Amazon product or service at least daily. And if you think of how important Amazon Prime Video is today, I think that number increased tremendously. And just like 11% said, okay, less than 1 month. Like really impressive here in Germany. And also this statistic shows if people are already, they know they were inspired, they want to get a product, they search their product search, or they start their product search on Amazon in Germany, like 34% already. And this is from 2017. In the US, it's even more. So you see that above 50% are already looking for the product on Amazon first. But what you also see, what is really impressive in that survey from Bloomberg, is that also Google got some traction from 2016 to 2017. And I would say that is mainly caused by Google Shopping, and also what you see in the US, the introduction of Google Express, like the first marketplace approach of Google for grocery shops. So you also see in the US the same statistic like in Germany, but even more, 55% are telling to this survey that they start their product search on Amazon. And you have to ask yourself, so is it worth to play the Amazon game? And Miro will continue.
As Martin already told us, Amazon is a huge step or a huge part of the life of our customer. This is also what we see in a classic marketing funnel. Normally we have here the funnel on different platforms, different providers. We're starting with display, then in the middle funnel maybe broad there, followed by corporations, affiliate. So, but if we take a look on the Amazon universe, when we start in the upper funnel, we see, okay, Amazon, they offer us their own DSP with data from Amazon. They know what did your customer bought, which products did they look. So they have a huge impact on the whole ecosystem. If we get a step lower, we see Amazon-sponsored brand ads, which are formerly known as headline search ads. Maybe a few of you already know them, which are the ads you're seen on the platform, but they are better for brand awareness. Then if we take a step lower, we have the classical Amazon SEO. How good can you find a product in an organic ranking of Amazon? And then something really new, I think they kicked it off in US and for few UK seller, Amazon retargeting. So you can retarget in and outside of Amazon people who looked on your or on competitor products. So even in a marketing funnel, it takes a whole new position because you can use on every funnel step and service from Amazon, leading you the customers to your platform or to Amazon, to your product then. Or maybe later also to services, what we already see in UK. Okay. When we're talking about how do I manage all this, can be my strategy, it's not like, okay, let's switch on Amazon, it will go right. First we have to think, do we have an assortment for this product? Can procure them in a fast speed so that we can deliver fast, that we can follow trends also? And then what should be the pricing? Do we want to have a competitive pricing because 10 other people are selling our products? Or do we maybe want to have a little bit higher pricing than in a shop because Amazon is taking margin, etc., etc.? And also, do we have the manpower and the resources to manage it? It's not something you just put the product there and everything go by their own. Somebody has to do all this stuff. Then other ideas is, do we using Amazon as in addition to our marketing mix, or do we using it as an entry in a new market? Let's think about an UK-based company which say, okay, I'm active in UK, it's pretty well, but what's about US? Then we can think about, okay, let's just push a few products on US on Amazon, see, did some people already search for our products? How big is the search volume? And just test the market via a marketplace like Amazon or another platform. Then push versus pull. Do we start with the approach just testing the market, put the product there, see what happens, or do we go full in with a branding budget, with display, with huge campaigns? So there are different approaches which we can follow for different markets. And it's probably the most easiest way to test a new market because you don't need a new shop or anything. Then also, what's about after Amazon? So let's say we mastered all these steps, and then we say, okay, are we finished here, or should we have a next look into something new like Wish or maybe Asia, Alibaba, or whatever platform? So it's nothing what you can do once, and it's nothing here we say it fix and we don't change it later. It's always a process which we have to follow. And as I already mentioned here, manpower and resources are very, very important. The challenge is how to integrate everything in our infrastructure, in our organization. And when we're talking about this, first thing we have to think about, how do we get our product to Amazon? There are a few different approaches where we'll talk about it. Then, as already mentioned, the technical setup. Also, what does Amazon and other platforms mean for our logistical process? Everybody knows logistics is not something that's just there. And also customer service. What does it mean for our guys there? When we talk about how does we get our products to Amazon, we have the pure manually way. Let's say we are a company with 10 products, can go into Amazon, type in our product name, descriptions, keyword, whatever, and then push them live. But then we still have to consider how are we doing the order management. There we need an external tool again, everything. So this is an option for small companies, but for a bigger company with, let's say, a few thousand products, nobody wants to do this manually. So then there's a semi-automated way via a so-called flat file, which is basically a huge Excel file where you can type in everything or insert it via a data feed and then upload it to Amazon and your products are live. The good thing is it's totally robust. Even if you have problems with your shop or whatever, your products will stay live on Amazon. But on the other hand, it's hard to change something afterwards. Or if you have a high fluctuation in your products, you have to upload this file every 2 days or every 3 days. So it's, again, a lot of manual work then. And as the file is really strict, you really have to know which data belongs to which position, etc., etc. And again, you need an order management solution because how does the orders from Amazon came to your system and to your logistic process. Then the third version, automated way via API or middleware. So there, as it's already said, it's completely automated. If we have integrated with our IT resources, we can push our products directly to Amazon. They are more or less automated and the whole order management happen afterwards. On the other hand, we need IT resources, and I think everybody knows that no company ever have enough IT resources. And if Amazon changed something, what they really like to do, just small things in their API, it can happen that it causes some problems, which are not really big thing, but pain in the ass sometimes. And how does it look like? I already told you, sometimes we automate this, and how does it look for the most project A branches, not for everything, but we are working normally with a master feed, which is coming from the web shop or the PDM or wherever, which we lead in a data feed management tool, where we building rules like, if a product contains this feature, then please add this bullet points, this keywords, and etc. From there, we push our feed in an order management solution or in our API, which pushes it to an Amazon, but also to some other the marketplaces like eBay or Shore or Mano. With this setup, we found a good way even for big catalogs. Let's say Kfz Teile 24, one of our portfolio companies, they have, I think, live on Amazon something like 150,000 products. And every product is a little bit optimated by an automated process, so that we have a good foundation where we can start with. But already talked about the logistic. If we have so many products, how does all the products came to the customer? How does the products came to our warehouse? So it took a whole while after we ordered something, then shipped it from wherever it's manufactured to our warehouse, and then in our warehouse there's the next step. Do we ship it from our warehouse to the Amazon FBA solution, or do we send it out from here, from our own warehouse? And as you follow the circle, there are so many other challenges like, can we deliver in time? Because if the customer orders in your shop and the product is too late, okay, it's a bad experience for the customer. But on Amazon, if it's happened too often, Amazon say, sorry, your service is not good enough. We block you from Amazon. And if you're once blocked, can take months or even longer that you are online again. The same applies for our friends at customer service. Everybody knows in today's world, a good customer experience is key. Because if you have a bad customer experience, you will not buy there again. This is why Amazon is extremely picky. If a customer is not satisfied by the product or by the service, let's say the delivery time, and give you a bad rating, Amazon sees this and says, hey, why do you have 10 bad ratings in the last week or 100? If you don't fix it in 24 hours, we block you. And you are down again on Amazon. And what then can happen, that you write them, okay, but I hired new people. Then Amazon replies, yeah, can you please send us their contracts? Yeah. So, and it's nothing what you want to do. So, what is all this about? All this is about the communication. And it's extremely important that every part in our company communicate with each other. The operations team, where Martin will speak about more, has to communicate with the IT guys, with the guys in the logistic, and with the customer service. If the marketing operations team don't do this and there's a problem in one of these fields, the whole block falls down and is blocked. And it's a lot of work to re-engage or to be relisted on Amazon. If you have really good connections there, then maybe in a few months, but I even know a few guys were used to sell in Japan and got blocked because English customer service, they are not live since a year because they don't find people here which are native Japan speaker. So, and how much time this takes in an initial setup? Because often we have the experience that somebody came to us and said, okay guys, I want to sell on Amazon. Next week we are online. Can we do this? So there's the next question. Do we have already an account? Are there negotiations done? In case of Amazon, this isn't a big deal. But in case of, let's say, more old-fashioned marketplaces, not only in Germany but also in French, it can easily take up to a year to handle all this negotiation and onboardings. Then what about the technical infrastructure? Is there an order management solution? If yes, perfect. If no, 15 days developer time, I would assume maybe faster if the developers already did it a few times in the past in different jobs. And then the whole first optimization of the feeds, of the infrastructure, also takes a little bit of time. I would approximately say 2 to 3 weeks, depends on how many products. All the logistic processes, documentations, it's a fast process if the people have time for it. And this is a thing I mentioned in the beginning. That's a lot about your resources. If you don't have the resources to do it, then maybe go a step back. First, clarify everything. How can we manage it? Who should manage it in the next? And then see how does it work. But all in all, in 2 months, I would say it's a good, optimistic way to be live. If everything is already set up, 1 week in Amazon. So, and now, as already mentioned, Martin will speak a little bit about the whole operational part and what we can do on the side.
Yes. So first, you now set up your strategy. You started to get a bit more insights how you're gonna start with your technical infrastructure and also logistics and so on. And operations, you also should start them already when you're trying to build the first technical setup and so on. So this is like ongoing while the others are gonna start your process on Amazon. And now it's a question how to scale on Amazon. And you really have to know how you play the game right. And what we are talking about now is that always when you play a game, you really have to know which equipment can you use, which tools, which approaches can be chosen by you. And you see on that slide that is really key to that part, that we have like a big range of tools you can use and approaches you can use. But without your Amazon SEO, nothing will work. So this is key. You have to understand that without this core, you can't build the other layers. And it's also the case that all the other layers are interfering with your Amazon SEO. So if you're once done with your Amazon SEO, so you got the first bullet points, the titles for your products in the setup we have shown you with an automated way, you start to list your products on Amazon. This is the start of your Amazon SEO. You're not done with that now. And if you really want to understand Amazon SEO, it comes to the A9 search algorithm by Amazon. And this slide is also really key, and I will come back to it several times, because you have to understand the ranking is mainly driven by performance and relevance. So this model is accepted in the scene because, you know, the algorithm itself it's a black box, but like tools, SEO tools, for example, are testing that. We are also trying to test it with A/B testings and so on, because it also changes a lot. I think yesterday one of the big SEO tools published a new report that says that, for example, in your product presentation, it now doesn't make a difference if you put your keywords that are building the relevance in your title or in your description or in the backend keywords. And since I think 2 years, we worked in that field, like with the approach that you should put all the keywords in your title. So what you also see on Amazon is like all the keyword stuffing. Like we don't want to read these titles, you know. But also Amazon understood that now and changed it. Like we tested it, but they didn't publish that they changed it. And performance is mainly driven by sales. And your sales are mainly driven by the click-through rate when somebody put like a search query into Amazon, and by the conversion rate on your product detail page. And you can influence that with Amazon SEO. So what you see now is you can mainly influence like the product presentation I already mentioned with the keywords you use. And this is really key to understand. And that also your Amazon SEO, your keywords in your product presentation can be also influenced by your other equipment, by the other layers you can use on Amazon. And that's the reason why we're going to show you later the Amazon advertising as well as one of the other tools. And here you see an example, what you can influence with SEO. Like you have, for example, an image you can influence. Now this image wouldn't be allowed anymore because since 1st of September everything has to have a white background and so on. So you also need to be up to date, because if you don't change that, your product will be blocked. Also title. Here you see, we have like, it's German, but you have different words for ceiling lights, different words, different ways to write it, and now you should avoid that because it doesn't bring you any more advantages. And you also can influence things like labels and reviews by your performance. If you sell and if you also engage with people so that they write reviews about your product, you can also influence that a bit. But price, if your product is on fulfillment by Amazon or the availability, these are more strategic questions you should have answered before, or you always have to test if something of that, to change something of that, makes sense. You also can show like the price given by your manufacturer. This can be a SEO tactic, but it's also more related to your strategy, because if you are offering your own label, then it's also a question of law if you're allowed to do this. So, like I said, Amazon SEO is really key for everything you're doing. And also Amazon advertising, which is a really hyped topic at the moment, can interfere with your Amazon SEO and can lead to better SEO, but also to a better overall performance on Amazon. So, to give you first a short overview about the possibilities on the platform itself. So you have to understand that this is like you want to get traffic from the Amazon platform and from the Amazon ecosystem to your Amazon products. So not to your own shop, to your products on Amazon. You really have to know what this advertisement is for. So you have sponsored brands ads. This is only available for sellers and vendors who have a brand that is registered at Amazon. And you can advertise, you see Osram, the brand logo, you can show some products, and you have a high CTR, but you also have a high CPC. And you also have like attribution for brand revenue, like 14 days after somebody clicked. And this is a small detail, but it's all about these small details in Amazon advertising, because it's tricky. It's not you can't apply Facebook, Google logics on that, because in that case, also if somebody else, another seller, is offering your own label because your distribution didn't think of that possibility, and they are competing, for example, for this product with the buy box, you lead the customer to this product with this brand, and the other seller gets the sale. So you paid for his sale, and it's also going to be attributed in the sponsored brand set. So be really careful when you're working with Amazon advertising, and also think about attribution. And at all, attribution only means in this case on the platform. it's not at the moment possible to build your whole customer journey. Somebody maybe looked at your product detail page in your own shop, but then decided I want to buy it on Amazon. So Amazon is really a black box in that case as well. But what we recommend in the first place, and where we saw really, really good results, if we start with sponsored product ads. So that means that your products will be shown with more visibility at a higher ranking in the search query. And that can boost, for sure, your ranking in the end. So you start with the automated campaign, because that is the only possibility you can get search term reports from Amazon. If you just list your products organically, you don't know what the customer searched for and clicked on your product. But if you're doing automated campaigns with sponsored product ads, for example, you get a full report what the customer searched for, and now it comes to your SEO again, because that can push your SEO again, because you know which keywords you should use. Maybe you didn't think that color is so important, but in every second search query there's a color in it. So maybe you should position it in a more visible space, or you also should maybe write a bullet point about it. So this is really, really important, and you can increase your relevance, you can increase the product presentation, and so all in all also the ranking. And what also Miro already mentioned is the beta for retargeting. So what now is enrolling in, or is in rollout in the US is this beta, and we see sellers that have already quite good experience with that. So the customer already was on our product detail page, is somewhere in the web, and Amazon tries to retarget them. And as smart as they are, they make you pay for it. So you can get them back to your product detail page, and it will be rolled out now in the next weeks and months, also in Europe. So there are first sellers who have access to it. So this was the first and the second layer of your equipment. So now you're hopefully starting to get first sales, but you also should, before you get your first sales, you should start the setup of your after sales process, that's for sure. And Amazon doesn't give you many opportunities to contact your customer and to build a customer relationship. But in the after sales, you have some opportunities. Not big, but they are existing. So first of all, you can mail your customers afterwards via Amazon Seller Central. They don't see your email address, you don't see their email address, but you can contact them and you can send them invoices, maybe branded, that would be nice. But also you can send them neutral requests for feedback. So don't influence them to send you positive feedback, that is not allowed in the guidelines, but you can ask for general feedback, and maybe you have a thumb up that leads to your review page and a thumb down that leads to your contact form and not maybe to the reviews, right? And these are some small tricks you can use, and there are some more. You also can use your review and question management, for example, to influence your Amazon SEO again. Because if somebody asks a question, it seems that they didn't find the right information in your description. So you should use also that again to influence your Amazon SEO. And also the returning process. I mean, if you have like 10% return rate or even more, you want to know why. And also Amazon gives you the opportunity to analyze that and to see if you maybe did something wrong with product descriptions or anything else, or if you have problems with your packages. So you can find out that and optimize your whole operations. Next, Prime. So this is going to be the first word, if you're ever going to start on Amazon, what your account manager is telling you: Prime. Do Prime, all your products on Prime, and yeah, it can be a really, really nice approach. It can help some of your products, but for sure not all of them. And what is also key to understand, and why I also put this on this slide, is that if you don't put your products on Prime, you also have just a small range of promotions you can do on the platform. So you're not allowed to take part in a Prime Day, not allowed to take part in Cyber Week, Black Friday, and so on. And if you don't do that, you miss a lot of opportunities, because, for example, we see that you can do on a Prime Day a month revenue just on one day. And that's not the exception. So let's talk about Prime. So you have different possibilities to get the Prime badge for your product? First of all, and this is the most common way to do it, is you send it to inbound to all the fulfillment centers of Amazon. So you start maybe with Germany, it's your home market, then you also can send it inbound to other countries, or you do the Pan-Europe program. If you have questions to that, please feel free to come to us later, and we're going to talk about these international approaches a bit more into detail. But what does Prime do? It first influences your ranking again. So you see, this influences Amazon SEO because you have now the opportunity to be shown if somebody applies the Prime filter that is already like in a very visible position in the search. You also have faster delivery times and the Prime badge, what can lead to higher CTR and higher CR, so more sales. And you see that up to 10 to up to 20% of uplift can be reached. It depends on the category. But, and it's a big but, you have to look at your costs. Yeah? First of all, delivery costs, storage costs, but also penalty costs. So if your product is still on storage in the fulfillment center for more than 6 months, yeah, you get a penalty. And the other thing is, for example, you have to take a close look on taxes. Yeah? If you're sending, for example, your products inbound to France, you don't think of getting a tax number for Slovakia, right? But you have to, because the return process is done by Amazon via a fulfillment center in Slovakia. So this is like really, really complex, and you really have to get everybody into that boat. So from your lawyer to your logistics, customer service, and so on. So don't do Prime just as fast as possible. Think of it, yeah, how you want to do it, build a strategy also for Prime, and then you can have big success with it. And we also want to talk just a bit about the other possibility to get the Prime badge. It's Prime by seller. So that means you're still aware of or you're doing the logistics, but you have the possibility to get the Prime badge. But you have to deliver in 1 day. You have to buy the badges from Amazon, even if you're working with the same carrier. So think of DPD. You have your contracts with DPD. You're selling maybe 2,000 packages a day. And now Amazon tells you, you can't go for your normal fees. You have to buy it via Amazon. And so it's going to be really expensive. You should think of that. Is that uplift worth the money? And you have to also integrate it in your whole IT infrastructure, because it doesn't make sense that me as marketplace manager printing out like 200 batches, giving it to the logistics. So you have to integrate it via API. Really complex. So first think of it, then do it. And these are the possibilities I already mentioned. You have on the platform. So you have the Prime Day I already mentioned, only possible with products on Prime. The same is for offer of the day and flash sales. But in between them, there's a small possibility for you to maybe use the opportunities on Amazon. And for example, what is really, really smart to do is you combine products that you think, or you already know from your own online shop, that can be bought together. And you teach the A9 algorithm that they belong together, because you tell your customers you get maybe 10% if you buy this second product, if you buy product A. And then after some time, Amazon is aware of that and going to show on your product detail page this combination and this bundle, and that helps you to get rid of competition on your own product detail page. Because the worst thing is somebody already is on your product detail page and then decides, I go for the competitor product because it seems to be more nicer. And now we already have really many tools you can use. I think most of the companies are using it till maybe the red area. But what you also can do, and what has to be tested by each of you if you're doing it, if it makes sense, is that you use more advertising solutions. And we see that already in the US, because the competition there between sellers is really, really intense. That they lead, for example, traffic from AdWords, from Instagram, directly to Amazon. Even because they don't have their own shop, also possible, or they just sell more if they send the people to Amazon. But you really have to think of that, because actually you're paying already for that customer, but you won't get the direct customer access. So maybe you should really think of that, which products I can't sell if I don't sell it on Amazon, for example. And then you have to decide, okay, I go for it. And the brand shop also enables you to measure it somehow. So you can't build the whole customer journey, but you see which customers, or no, that customers bought after they were sent to your brand shop. And also tricky, Amazon is also then competing for your brand keywords. So it also can increase your brand CPC and so on, your SEO ranking. So really, if it comes to all that, always talk to your SEA department, always talk to your SEO department of the online shop, because it can interfere so much and can lead to really also decreasing revenues in your online shop if you don't work it out properly. Then Amazon DSP, we already talked a bit about it. You can lead from the same customer segments that are possible for the retargeting and the possibilities on the platform we talked about for your own shop. So maybe you found out that product is sold on Amazon very good. So let's try to get the same target audiences to our own shop. So you learn from your activities on Amazon and now you apply it to your own online shop. Or what I already here mentioned, you send people directly to your Amazon products. Also possible, and also a valid approach if you can't sell them in your online shop, for example, or you have even better channeled products. So you build products only for marketplaces, but it's also a smart approach. So you not only have to know your equipment, use it, you have to know, like, without Amazon SEO, you can't do the other stuff. And all the other stuff is interfering with your Amazon SEO. And this is like really key to understand. So now, last point, we have some short do's and don'ts, and we want to share them with you. Like some of you know, if you're starting, especially maybe also in the corporate world with Amazon, first the question is, should we do the vendor model or the seller model? And I see from my own experiences and also what vendor consultants are talking about is you shouldn't do vendor, because in 90% of the cases it's not the right decision. You have always a review meeting in the end of the year with Amazon, and afterwards you're not happier, right? And for sure not richer. And so we normally are telling our ventures, start with the seller. You can have the maintenance of prices. You have the possibility to sell the products you like to sell, because Amazon, they don't buy every product from you. If you have a product that doesn't perform in maybe the regular retail, they don't want to sell it as well. And as a seller, you can tell, yeah, we believe in that product, that it works in e-commerce, for example, we want to sell it. So you have more freedom, and especially you're not forced into like conditions you don't like to have. Trend scouting and fast sourcing. Here we talked about that already. And if you have like trend products and maybe you know them from Amazon Launchpad and so on, like products that are really, really hip at that time, you have to be really fast. And you can't wait for the ship from China to arrive, for example. You really have to start to get processes that can allow you to source even faster. And then you can get like the first reviews, you get the first sales, and you can build the bestseller batch maybe for a category that is not already so popular. So you have the first mover advantage in that case, and you should use it. And last, is you should keep testing. For example, what I talked about that yesterday, the algorithm, maybe they changed it in the last weeks. You have to find that out, you have to test it. And maybe you use emojis and bullet points because your products or the customers you want to approach, they like it. And it increases your CR. But there are also some do's and some don'ts, and we just have a small collection of them here. First of all, if you're playing in the Amazon advertising environment, you will find ACoS. It's a KPI given by Amazon that tells you about the advertising costs on sales. And that not means like your gross sales on your gross spend for advertisement, No, it means your net spend on advertising because you're paying to Luxembourg, but your gross revenue you saw it in Germany. So don't forget that your ACoS is not your cost revenue ratio. Really important and really key. And I also talked about your account manager who is measured by the amount of products, for example, you put on Prime. So you will hear that I think in the call 14 times at least. And you should think of it, but like I said, look at your margins, look at your costs. And also last thing, what also Miro mentioned already, a marketplace is not a shop. If you don't satisfy your customers on the marketplace, it's even worse. Because in the shop, maybe you have decreased revenue, decreased customer satisfaction, but on a marketplace, normally, especially Amazon, measures that with KPIs. And if you don't change it, it's not decreasing revenue, it's zero revenue. And you don't want to be in that situation if that happens in one of your countries. So that's it from us. We would like to point out our meetup on Monday if you're still around in Berlin. We're going to talk about platform economy and marketplaces. Also Florian Heinemann will talk, Franz Jordan from Selix, it's an SEO tool, and also us about different topics we talked now about. So you also will learn something on Monday. And now we are open for questions, and thanks for your attention. Any questions?
Do you have any advice for how to attribute the source of sales on Amazon? Because the problem that we have is that we have our product for sale both on our own website and on Amazon, and 9% of our sales come from Amazon. We don't know whether those sales are people that are coming via our website and then clicking through Amazon, or whether they're sales that Amazon has driven by their own searching.
Yeah. First question from my side would be, how is the pricing? Do you have the same pricing on Amazon and in your shop?
Identical.
Okay. First thing you should think of, because what you're telling the customer. Normally they know that Amazon will deliver fast, that they have high satisfaction, and now you ask them for the same amount of money to go into your shop, because actually you want to direct customer access. So what can be a strategy? It's not if you have own label products. Is that you say, okay, I'm maybe selling on marketplaces to a higher price. Or what is even the smarter decision is to channel the products, what I talked about. So, for example, you have the oil, the car oil, 5 liters, only on the marketplace and not in your shop, so that you can't compare it. And also think of it about your channels, where you get your traffic from. It's Google Shopping, for example, price comparison. So in these two channels, you're competing with your own listing against your own online shop. And that's really, really key. But I think you also wanted to know if you can measure it.
Well, yeah, because we want to know whether we should invest in advertising on Amazon to increase our visibility there, or put more attention into SEO so we can increase the visibility of our website. We don't know which one to
regarding measure it, there are ideas how you can do it, but I think it's better if we talk directly to each other. Okay. Because it's not this easy that you say, okay, do this, and then you have the perfect measure. Yeah. So it's a more complex way, and I don't think that everybody is interested in it. But afterwards, we directly can speak about it.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
So other questions regarding Amazon or even other marketplaces?
I have a question regarding getting more traffic, external traffic on my product detail page. Is it really allowed by the RGBs of Amazon, because there's I think a gray zone because of the super link stuff?
Yes, so if you're talking about the super link, I assume that you have competitor on the same product, or is it your own label?
No, it's just
okay. So it is allowed by Amazon, or let's say the Amazon algorithm loves traffic from outside because you are paying that Amazon earns money. Perfect situation. I would have loved to have the same situation. And if it's coming about the measurement of this is a really tough decision. What Amazon recommend you to do is use your own affiliate link for this advertisement. But you don't get any payments out from Amazon, you just have the opportunity to track it better. If somebody clicked, if it really leads to a sale. But Amazon is totally fine with it. I didn't heard from any case where Amazon had problems with this. Even the account managers are really recommended to do display campaigns, Facebook, social. There are even some landing page tools where you can build your own landing page with a buy on Amazon button. And then it's directly bought on Amazon. It's a strategy question. If you have no own shop, maybe a good solution. If you have an own shop, maybe think first about how could I lead the customer in my own shop. So, anything?
I have a question that is a bit based on your question before, because I mean I have no clue about marketplace and also not about Amazon. But some people I know, they also sell stuff on Amazon, and actually so many of them said, I don't need an online shop, I just do everything through Amazon. I don't know if that's a trend, or like maybe you have a better insight.
I think it's a valid approach. So now you have to compare like 3 models. Yeah. First model is I have my own online shop and that's it. Second model, we are telling you can be a strategy is you have a hybrid solution. Yeah, you're active on platforms to get like customer access or to get some acquisition, and you're parallel selling via your online shop. But then you have also like pure platform players. For example, here in Berlin, you have KW Commerce. You have really sellers that are focused, or KW focused on these platforms. And I think it's a valid approach, but it comes more to like procurement, to assortment, to be fast in, or to be good in category management. So you should get your BI people more on category management, and then it's a valid approach. But I think in the approach we as Project A are going for, it wouldn't be a solution, because what is the problem? You don't have like a CLV in the end. You always have to get back to the customer again for high customer acquisition costs, at least 15%. So the fee on Amazon. And what we try to do is like to approach the customers for once or twice in the platform, but then like leading them indirectly to us, and then to measure that.
So, in addition to this question, one of our startup Keats, for example, is a good example. They are not active on Amazon because they are selling salads and other food for lunch, but for them it's Delivery Hero or other platforms like this, and it's a pure platform business, which totally can make sense.
You had a question?
Yeah, do you see examples of marketplaces selling their stuff on other marketplaces or
Yes. For example, in the furniture business, La Vida XXL, like one of the competitors of one of our portfolio companies, they're doing that as well, building our own marketplace, but also like testing the products on other marketplaces can be, I think, also a smart idea. I mean, it's in the end, it makes sense, but it's just one example I know at the moment. For example,
apart from this, there are a few companies from China which have in nearly worldwide own marketplaces for some special goods, but in addition sell their goods also on marketplaces. So it's
or Momox, for example, they are buying stuff, used stuff. So you just send them like the box of your books, get $15 for it, and they sell it. So they are like, for example, they are the biggest Amazon seller in Germany. So like, there are some of these hidden champions, also marketplace kind of, or having their own marketplaces and selling on marketplaces.
There was, I think, another question.
Yeah.
Do you have any experience with where to buy solutions? You know, companies like Channel Advisor that send people from the direct shop over to Amazon because they say, we don't want users to do this heavy search, go back to Google and then go to Amazon anyways. We want to make it very easy for them to get to Amazon. But does it actually increase the overall conversion rate, right, of your brand? I mean, does it help to have where to buy buttons on your shop? to other e-commerce shops, or would you say let's keep them on their own shop?
That's a really, really tough question. Let's say if you are a fashion brand and your approach is not to be the high fashion brand and don't want to invest money in an own shop, then I would say, okay, in this case maybe. Or let's say you are Kircher and your key is not selling products directly to the consumer and you really don't care about it. You just want to sell more and more. Then it can be a solution. But if you really have your own shop, I would never do this. Or never say never, but I would most probably not do it because you have your customer in your shop, then you are willing to give this customer to Amazon. So retargeting gone. Here in this step, on the Amazon product detail page, they are already shown products from other sellers, so the bounce rate can be higher, and then you're paying Amazon 15%.
You also have to pay for that where to buy solution. So I have the same feeling as a user.
So in really special cases, yes, it can make sense, but I would not recommend it in the first.
But also, to be honest, if you're now starting an e-commerce business, I think without the platforms, you don't have a chance if you don't have a funding like About You with 300 million.
Yeah, or if you, Klarstein, for example, these guys, they sorry?
I thought these are strong expressions. Yeah.
They started on Amazon and building now their own shop. Kawaii started also with an approach like this you mentioned. They, coming from the Amazon world, thought about there are a lot of people which are searching our products in Google, maybe a good own website is a solution. Then they started with this buy on Amazon button. But now they also have a own proper shop, because in the end you have the customer data and customer access is key. Any other questions regarding this?
All right.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.